Okay, the first, excuse me, the first one we're going to do is the fiddle leaf fig.
Oh,
Barb, you're in the dark.
Let me see if I can put another light on. Hmm. That any better? No?
N-
Hmm. And when I first started going to make this, I needed to determine what color the leaves were. So I went to a nursery. It took me a while to find one, and then every time I turned around, they were fiddle leaf figs. I watched a bunch of YouTube things, and at least 3 podcasters had fiddle leaf figs in their background. I went to IKEA, and they have fiddle leaf figs. Last night I was watching Scott's Vacation House Rules, and didn't he have a fiddle leaf fig in one of his designs as well? So we're going to start. Can everybody see that? I
yes.
hope. So your kit contained leaves, 20 of varying sizes, and a stem wire, for those of you who ordered kits. The first step we have to do is to make the veins on the leaves. So we're using a ball stylus, and this is a small cutting board I have, or a hard surface. You draw some veins on each leaf. And here I have a picture of just a drawing showing the similar thing. Now, this is a 1/12 scale leaf here that I've got the picture of, so you might have to reduce the number on a 1/24 or a 1/48 scale leaf. Next, to take a yellow pencil crayon, and this one I have is the one I got actually from the dollar store. I found out it worked better. So you trace over those veins that you just made. You may have to sharpen your pencil quite often. The next step is to apply gloss medium. And here I have a picture of either Mod Podge gloss or triple thick, which you can also find in the dollar store. And you apply gloss medium just to the top of each leaf, not the stem portion and not underneath. Any questions so far?
Nope.
Now you use your fingers to give more shape to each of the leaves, and then you bend the leaf down at the stem, as you can see here. The next step is to sort the leaves by size. There's, like I said, variety of sizes and actually shapes. When assembling this plant, you'll find that the actual larger leaves are at the top of the plant. That's why I've arranged them large and then down to smaller. If you take your stem wire and color the end of it green, that's just to hide it once you've got all the leaves on. Your wire is longer than is required because you have to have something to hang on to while you're assembling the plant. Now I find it easiest to hold the tip down and glue 3 of the largest leaves around the top of the stem, as shown here. The stems just that on the leaf just glue the whole stem to your wire. So you continue to add leaves below, leaving only a small gap. You glue each row in the gap of the leaves above. If you can see here, it's in the gap. You carry on putting the leaves on and end up, you need about 3/8 of an inch at the bottom end for the root in 1/12 scale, about 1/4 of an inch for 1/24 scale, and 1/8 of an inch for 120, 148. And you can just cut off the excess wire. If you have any leaves remaining, you can fill in any noticeable gaps. And then it's just a matter of planting that stem in your chosen pot. I hope everybody was able to find suitable pots for their planting. So you add air dry clay or plasticine to the pot, add glue to the top and sprinkle on the tea leaves, plant your fiddle leaf fig. And once you've got it in there and let it dry, you can adjust the leaves. So are there any questions on that one?
No. Very nice.
So just to show that again, if you can.
Barb, I have a question.
Yep.
Are the leaves offset? Like, are they all in the same line? What's the word? Or are
No,
they offset each row?
you plant them the next row in the gap formed by the leaves above.
Okay.
So you
It's hard to
alternate. Mhm.
Yeah, you're all basically alternate them. Okay, we'll move on to the next one.
Barb, I do have a quick question on the fig leaf.
Yeah.
Was each row just like 3 leaves continuing all the way
Yes.
down? Okay,
Yeah,
thank
3
you,
leaves in each row.
thank you.
Just a minute, I gotta get the right one here. Can everybody see that one?
Yes.
The cyclamen? Hopefully I can. So in this one, you have flowers, flower stems, and leaves and the leaf wire. So the first thing you're going to do is to prepare the leaf wire. There are 20 leaves. I sent you wire in pieces. You have to do some cutting of these yourself. And as shown for the 1/12, you cut into 3/4 inch pieces. For 1/24, you cut into 1/2 inch pieces. And for 1/48, you cut into 3/8 inch pieces. And you bend a small curve at the end of each wire. So the next step is to make the markings on the leaves. I sent you the directions for a little gadget to hold these things steady while you try and color on them. So you take a white watercolor pencil, and going back to the fiddle leaf fig, do not try and use a watercolor pencil to make the yellow markings, because as soon as you put on the Mod Podge, it's going to kind of dissipate. But in this particular case, I found the watercolor pencil worked best. So if you see on each leaf, you make a kind of a U shape, but don't do just a straight line, kind of zigzag it along to make your markings. Now you have to place each leaf on a piece of craft foam, and using a ball stylus, cut each leaf slightly, just below the heart indent. I marked this one with a black mark just to show you approximately where to cup it from. And it should look like this. It just gives it a little bit more shape. The next step is to glue a stem to each prepared leaf. So here you've got your curve. So you put it up at the underneath at the point of the heart, or not the point, but the dip. And you have your curve facing down into the leaf. So you set those aside to dry. Now you have 7 flowers. Again, you have a wire that you have to cut into pieces. And again, you make a small curve in the top, one end of the wire. Now you place 7 petals on craft foam. You've got more petals than you need, but cup tightly in the middle. So here's the 112 scale, 124 scale, and 148 scale. Now, this is where it's different than most flowers because you glue the curved end of the stems into the cup center of the flower, not underneath it, but into it. You can see it best, I think, right there. So at this stage, you prepare your pot. Again, add air dry clay, glue, and tea leaves. You start with the largest leaves and place them all around the outside edge, close to the top of the dirt. You trim the wires as required. So here you have the larger leaves on the outside. Then you continue to add leaves on the inside, having them slightly taller than the previous ones. You can see here that's taller than that, and this is slightly taller than that one. Now, when you have only 4 or 5 leaves left, stop at this point. Depending on your pot, you may not have room for all of the leaves, but at this point in time, we need to plant the flowers in there, or it will be difficult to do so later. You add the flowers to the center area of the pot. The flower stems are taller than the leaves. You can see they stick up quite a bit. Then you use any remaining leaves to fill in, keeping the mounded shape. And there you have the 112 scale, the 124th, and the 148th. Any questions?
Very nice.
Someone was asking where to get the brown paper wire.
I had that in my stash. It used to come from the dollar store, but I don't know where you can get brown now. Again, my light is terrible, but there are the 3 actual plants. Does it look
I
better back
have-
here?
I have seen brown paper wire, the wrapped wire on AliExpress, if anybody is
Oh, okay.
interested. I found it there.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can just take white wire and paint it brown. So any questions on cyclamen? I know I'm going through this kind of fast, but it would have been impossible to work along as we go. Now, next, we're going to look at our herbs. As I said in my PDF, I'll state that none of these herbs are true representations, but they'll give you the look on your kitchen windowsill. Yep. Where am I going here? No, wrong one. There we go. Everybody see that one?
Yes.
The first one is very simple. You just take your pot, put air dry clay, glue and tea leaves, and pop in the tuft. They do have kind of sticky backs, but I would put glue in the pot and then stick them in. So I call those chives, but the second one is what I call parsley. So you have wires and the green fluff. So you bend a curve at the end, one end of each wire, add glue along each wire and add the scatter, leaving a root bare for planting. You can see here that there's a little bit left. Set them aside to dry. If you try and handle them too soon, all the fluff is going to fall off. So you prepare the pot with air dry clay, glue and tea leaves as usual. Glue each branch into the prepared pot, trimming the wire as required. You can let dry and then arrange them into a pleasing shape. And you can add some scatter to the pieces where there are any really noticeable gaps. Any questions? The third herb I called a mint. And here you have leaf sections and wire. So you place each leaf section on craft foam and make a crease down the middle of each leaf, individual leaf, as shown here in the 3 sizes. Glue a wire to the bottom back of each leaf section. And you plant each leaf in a prepared pot. Have the back with wires facing in. Shorten the wires as necessary as you're planting them. The bottom of each leaf section should essentially be at soil level. And that is the herbs. Any question?
Somebody asked if you could paint air dry clay.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I have two.
I usually, if I don't have a brown, usually I use Model Magic. And if I don't have brown, I'll just paint it with brown paint. It's fine.
Barb, it's Linda. I was a little confused about how you attach the flowers on the cyclamen.
Okay. Once you have your petals tightly cupped, you actually glue the curved end of the wire into the cupped petal.
Through the center bottom or,
No, right over the top
oh,
of
okay, okay,
the petal. So the wire, if I've got a wire here,
right,
it comes up,
okay,
it's glued in to the cup. I
gotcha,
mean, this
okay, thanks.
wire will be bent, but
Cyclamen
Okay.
kind of grows upside down, doesn't it? The petals go towards the roots instead of away from.
Uh,
no, the petals they go away from the plant, like they're upside down.
The petals go into the stem or away from the stem?
You glue the curved end of the stem right into the cupped part of the flower.
Okay.
I should have made a big one to show you. Let me go back to my cyclamen. Which is the best one to show you? This is the best one here. You'll see that the stem goes up and it's into the cupped petal. Normally you would be gluing the stems to the bottom of a cupped petal, but in this case it's going into.
Kind
Does
of
that
makes
help?
like an umbrella. Kind of makes an umbrella.
Yeah, except then the umbrella is bent over.
Yeah, right.
That
Looks
puts it
authentic,
the
that's for
bestest.
sure.
Pardon me?
It looks authentic, that's for sure.
Thank you. So let's see. So only the wire left brown is the cyclamen. Yeah, the ones for the fiddle leaf fig, although some pictures show it brown, for the most part, by the time you glue all your leaves on there, you're going to cover up the brown stem anyway. Yes, I use tacky glue. See if I missed any other questions. Okay. Thank you, Vero. Did you get your kit, Vero? Is it clay or foamy? Do you mean foam? What gauge wire did I use? Let me see, where am I? Uh, what's that?
The last time I looked at paper covered wire at Michael's, it was really thick.
Yeah, no, most of the ones I've used, I have gotten from elsewhere. I know the ones for the smaller cyclamens were 30 or 33 gauge. And I get those from it's called Flower something or other. I'll have to look that up again.
Like a florist supply shop?
Yeah, it's flower confections. It's in Ontario.
And you can order from Amazon too, all the different gauges
Probably,
and colors.
yeah. I thought I had written down what gauge I used, but I don't seem to have them here.
So Barb, I had a quick question. So do we leave the wire brown for the clementian plant or do we paint it
For the
green?
which?
The,
Sorry,
the clink, I can't say it.
Cyclamen.
cyclamen.
Thank
Cyclamen,
you.
you leave it brown.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I think the smaller ones actually have a lighter brown. The 12 scale has a darker brown. Any other questions?
Barb,
Yeah.
where do you get your small little punches to do your flowers for the cyclamen?
The ones I have, I originally got from Hanky Panky, but she no longer
Okay,
does that, so.
so we've probably not someone that you can get now.
No.
Okay.
Sometimes you can find them in a scrapbook store. Excuse me.
You could punch a bunch and sell them.
Oh,
I've never-
probably.
I've never seen them that small. That's the only thing I've never seen a punch that tiny.
Which one are you looking at, Camille?
The 12 scale cyclamen?
The 12 scale one?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I've never seen a punch that's that small. Nothing I have is that tiny.
They used to sell one that had, I think, 3 or 4 different sizes in one punch
Okay.
of 5 petal flowers, but I don't know if they're still out there or not. It's getting harder and harder to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, but I do sell bags of those if you need them.
Thanks.
Okay, well, I just want to say thanks, Barb. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Those were really, really detailed plants. They're beautiful and so delicate and realistic. I just love that. Thank you for doing that for us. Your instructions are really easy and clear and simple to follow. So I think a lot of us will be successful in making plants. And so yeah, thank you, Barb. Really appreciate that.
I hope if you have any questions, just send me an email and I'll try and answer them. Did everybody who ordered their kits get them in the mail?
I forgot to
Is
order
Vero still
mine.
here? Pardon me? Pardon me? Who?
It's Lisa. I forgot to order mine.
Yep, I got mine.
Good.
And good job, Barb. Thanks. That was a lot of
Thank you.
work for you.
That was
Yeah,
excellent.
it took a while, yeah.
So we can stop the recording now?